Hey guys, what's up? My name is Vaishnavi and welcome back to another video. I know I've been MIA for the longest time, like it's been a year. There was just a lot going on in life, and I think I'm in a position right now to be able to put this video out and help as many people as possible. And also, a lot of my friends are going through the process of applying for electives and getting them. So, I thought this would be a very helpful video to everybody who is on the USMLE journey looking for electives and trying to figure out how to apply to them. So, let's get started. Okay, so what are the three types of US clinical experience as an international medical student that you can obtain? First is sub internships or electives. Usually, sub internships and electives are given to medical students and not to medical graduates. I know a lot of people consider sub internships higher than electives, but according to me, they're almost the same, just termed differently. Electives are mostly hands on, and you get to do as much as you do on sub internships. Sub internships are basically where you're an acting intern, where you are involved a lot more in probably patient care. Even on electives, where you go as a visiting medical student, you are given hands-on opportunities, and it really depends on your interest how much you would want to be involved in patient care. So I think electives and sub-internships are almost the same, just different in name. The second thing is observerships. These are not hands-on, just like the name suggests. You observe or shadow the attending on the service. It can be either inpatient or outpatient. People mostly go ahead with observerships when they've graduated already and they're not a medical student anymore. Observerships are not hands-on, so their value is a lot less. Some programs, while you apply, do mention that they require a US clinical experience, which is not an observership. So it is always better to do a hands-on clinical elective or sub-internship. And the third type is research electives. Some universities offer research electives where you apply and you can go as a research trainee for a month or two. You might not be exposed to the clinical aspect of the hospital, but you do help in research and you can probably get a few publications or train yourself in research methodologies, which might be helpful for the future. So, what are the ways in which you can obtain an elective or an observership? First thing is a VSLO. If your medical school is a participating university in VSLO, figure out the process to create a VSLO account. A lot of universities are listed under VSLO and you can apply directly to them through that portal. So, do check that out. Second thing is directly through university websites. All the universities you're interested in, you can go onto their website, check out if they give international medical graduates or even other students clinical electives or observerships, and they'll have that process jotted down on the website and you can accordingly apply to them. The third way is cold emailing. You might have alumni from your university who are attendings in the United States, so you can always reach out to them and tell them you are so and so from so and so university and you are looking for elective or US clinical opportunities, and you'll be grateful to rotate under them. Cold emailing is usually a drawn out process. You have to probably send in 50 to 100 emails to get a few responses. A lot of people might get back to you saying that it's not a possibility. It's always a good thing to try and reach out to them. They can probably help you in the future as well. The last thing is agencies. A lot of my friends have applied for electives through agencies. Some of them have been good experiences, some of them have been not so good experiences. There are a lot of agencies on the internet like AMO, USMLE Sarthi, Brooklyn USCE, and many others on the internet. You can check that out. Usually, you apply to them and then they tell you for your specialty or required interests what are the universities available, and you can probably choose from them. What are the must have documents to apply for electives? First thing is the CV, and then you have your personal statement, and then your dean's letter or letter of good standing, your medical school transcripts, your step 1 score, the 3-digit score or a pass fail if you've taken it after January 2022, and the TOEFL exam. Okay, so the most important document required for applying to electives is the CV. For the template of the CV, you can always just go onto Google and download any template for the CV or the resume available online. A lot of people use the Harvard CV template, so you can go ahead and download that and probably, start from there. I would not recommend keeping the CV more than 3 pages long because, a lot of people might not want to read beyond that, right? Next is the personal statement. Basically, it's your letter of purpose. Why you've gotten into medicine, why that specific specialty, why would you like to rotate under them in that university. You can talk about other things as well, right? Like your extracurriculars, your volunteer experiences. So, all the other accessory things you talk about in your personal statement should be somehow tied to the specialty and how probably those have helped in enhancing your interest into that specialty or how they've aided in building skills required for that specialty. Of course, not every single point needs to lead to that, but it should be like a good flowing story. That's what I mean by a good personal statement or a letter of purpose for electives. What are the extra documents required? Why I term them as extra is because not every single university or program requires these documents to apply to them. So first is the BLS certification by American Heart Association. Yes, it is very important to be BLS certified by the American Heart Association. Probably other associations might not hold as much value. The second thing is background verification. So there are a few universities like Cleveland Clinic, University of Florida that require background verification. You can go to the nearby police station and ask them what the procedure is to apply for a background verification certificate. It is better to ask for faculty letter of recommendations from your university, at least 2 of them. There are universities like Mayo Clinic which require letters of recommendation from faculties of your own medical school to know what kind of a candidate you are and how good a fit you are to come and rotate under them. And then the AAMC immunization. So, in my opinion, you do not need to be immunized fully by the time you apply. I think that's one mistake I made. I wanted to be completely immunized because I thought universities require that proof. But it's not necessary. Most universities ask for proof of immunization after you are accepted into the program to rotate under them. However, there are some universities and exceptions like Cleveland Clinic which require the AAMC immunization form to be filled. So for that you need to be completely immunized. You can go check that out on Google and download that form and accordingly fill that up and submit it. And then the urine drug test. This is not a requirement for every university. Again, very few universities require a urine drug test, so probably check out the procedure in your medical school on how you need to get this done. Okay, some closing off points, in my opinion, which might help for the entire elective process. The first recommendation is please apply for your visa in advance. A lot of people, especially last year, were not able to get visas in time for their rotation because of the backlog. I think now the situation is better, but it's always better to have your visa appointment in hand. Once you start applying for electives, start working on getting all your required immunizations. So for that, the AAMC immunization form will be very helpful. It will give you a basic checklist of what all you need to get immunized in. And of course, get immunized after checking your titers. If you have positive titers already, there's no point of getting immunized again, right? So yeah, start that process also well in advance. Again, I'm reiterating this. It is not a requirement to get all your immunizations before applying to universities. I know a lot of my friends, and me included, waited a long time and missed out on a few universities because we thought it was a requirement. It is always advisable to start this process as soon as possible. A lot of universities might list requirements for insurances like travel insurance, healthcare insurance. These are not requirements before you're accepted. You can always email the university and tell them that once you're accepted, you will submit the required insurances. So don't break your head on, figuring out how to get them before you apply. First you apply, and then if you get accepted, of course, you take those insurances as and when required. I know applying for electives is very stressful, especially when you have friends around you who are getting them one after the other, and sometimes it might not work out in your favor. But don't lose heart, just keep at it. One of the most important reasons of even having US clinical experiences is, of course, firstly, to get a good letter of recommendation from a US attending. But then it's also to understand how the US healthcare system works, right? A lot of you applying for electives might not be 100% sure if this is the path you want to take. So, getting that exposure early on might be very helpful for you to understand if that is the right place for you to be and if you would want to train there. Another big tip is start this entire elective process well in advance. It takes a good 4 to 5 months to just get the hang of the documents, the applications, the universities you want to apply to. So plan it out accordingly and apply to universities in a way that they can align one after the other. Of course, it does not happen this way every single time. There might be gaps in between, but that's fine. In my opinion, around 3 months of US clinical experience should be good enough. But yeah, of course, if you can get in more, I mean, why not? So, yeah, that is my advice on US clinical experience or electives. I hope I've covered all the main points. If you have any other questions, you can always comment down below. If you want any other specific videos, you can always let me know and I will try to bring them to you. Again, I will try to be consistent and post more often. It's very sad that I've filmed a lot of videos over the past 1 year, but I've just not, sat down and edited them, which is very funny because editing is something that I really enjoy in this process of filming and putting out YouTube videos. I've deleted more content than I have created in the last 1 year, but I will try my best to be consistent and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!